I have been absolutely obsessed. I don't know if you've heard, but there's been a viral Chase money glitch. Okay, if you haven't seen it, basically someone on TikTok said that there was a money glitch at Chase where if you deposit a check for a large amount, an amount you don't have, it will let you withdraw the full amount that you just made up, right? And that is just check fraud. That's actually the plainest fraud you can do. To walk up to an ATM and be like, I'd like to lie, please. That's not legal at all. And so I saw the TikTok and I was like, uh-oh, I hope nobody does this. I hope nobody does. I hope not a single person does this. I hope no one does it because it's the worst type of fraud you can do. I hope nobody does this at all. And then I went to Twitter and 6,000 people had done it. Like, in the time that I saw it, there were already people who were like, yo, we out here living! And watching people you don't know commit fraud is like watching your uncle wear a suit he thinks he can pull off. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, no, not in front of everyone, not in front of everyone. Because that's what it was. It was in front of everyone. They not only did the check fraud, but they all made videos, which is how I was watching. This wasn't a rumor. I was like, that's a high definition camera that you are committing crimes in right now. I am so, man, the jails will be full. That's a lot. Because, you know, they were playing with money that they didn't really have, and they were spending it on things they shouldn't have been spending it on. And so, you know, I know I'm not the first person to say this. I'm late when it comes to saying this, but I need to say it just to reiterate one more time in case anybody doesn't understand why check fraud is a very, very bad idea. They went to Chase Bank, right? And then they wrote their name all over a check. And then they went to their bank, which was Chase Bank, with their name on that check, and then put that fake money into their account, which your bank account has every number that makes you identifiable. Like, your bank has your address. It has your social security number. It has the numbers of places you used to live. Like, they have so much information about you. Chase might as well just go to the police station and be like, we need to make a few printouts. And so people were doing the check fraud, but then this is the other thing. This is what happened. This is why people started doing it, right? Basically, the glitch, as people were calling it, some of it was just straight up check fraud because they will give you a portion of the check because they haven't verified the check yet, but it's law that they have to make a portion available immediately, right? And so there was a mistake for maybe, who knows, 10 minutes, an hour, where someone put in a check and it gave them the full amount immediately. It did not do that for most people. Most people got a portion. So when you see them throwing money, they definitely had to pick it up right after. Like, it's like... Don't let the internet lie to you. Like, they threw that money for the video and then they were like, oh God, just... whenever I see stuff like that, I always think to myself, like, y'all didn't factor in the wind at all. Like, you balling for these next 3 seconds, but as soon as there's a gust, you're gonna be running into traffic, screaming, no! And so basically, there was that side of the glitch. Another side of the glitch was that there were people who were also requesting loans, like pretty high loans. And the loans were also appearing, for some reason, appearing in their bank account in full, even though all the money wasn't available, right? So that part is a mistake on Chase's part on the website. But what's actually happening when they were withdrawing the money was just a little bit was coming out. That little bit was just a portion of a bigger amount, right? But then Chase caught on pretty quick because they posted it to the internet, right? Which is where Chase also is. If Chase was one of these mom and pop banks where mom worked the teller and dad was the personal banker, maybe they would have gotten away with it for quite a while. But because Chase is also on the internet, Chase saw the mistake they were supposedly making. They corrected it immediately. They put a 7-day hold on people's accounts that were affected by this activity, right? But then, because they never had the money and because they already withdrew some of the money, they were getting negative balances as high as $72,000, right? Which at negative red $72,000, I think I'm just gonna change my name. That's when you open your bank account and you go, whose bank account is this? I don't know him at all. I am moving. But this is why you shouldn't let the internet lie to you, not just because they give bad advice with no repercussions, but also because there were people that were faking it. There were people that were faking the glitch, literally just to go viral. There were people who were going to the ATM, withdrawing their real money, not doing the scam, then throwing the money in the air for the video, and then immediately being like, y'all, help me. There were even people who were pretending, using other people's screenshots, pretending that they also had a negative $48,000 balance. And it was all just for attention. And it's so important to remember that. It's important to remember that half of the internet is for attention. Almost none of this is real. None of I could be AI. None of this is real. And so when you take things that are fun on the internet and you bring them into the real world, you could screw up your entire life because check fraud is so much a felony. Check fraud is one of those felonies that someone does that's not even a dangerous person. It's just you'll be like, man, where is Cousin Willie? I have not seen him at the last 3 Thanksgivings. And then your grandma go, okay, so Willie, he got into a little bit of trouble at Bank of America. It was a misunderstanding with because grandmas always try to make you seem less of a criminal. Grandma, you commit a crime and grandma be like, he had an accident. It was an accident. He is a sweet child. It was an accident because basically he got a little argument with one of his friends and then he fell, because they were pushing each other. Then he fell on his friend, but he had just been holding a knife at the time. That's why we praying for him to get out because I know his spirit. I know my baby, and my baby would never stab someone to death. My baby, how the police know he wasn't trying to get the knife out? You know what I mean? That's why it went in so many times, because it kept slipping in and he kept pulling it out. Why didn't they ask why that man's body was magnetic? Why didn't they do that? My baby ain't no murderer. You do check fraud. Your grandma's like, that's not even his handwriting. But grandma, is his name at his bank put into his account, and they just came and got him. Yeah, but I don't know. That when a grandma really has nothing for you, when you did it so hard, when you did it in front of her, that's when she's like, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, the one thing a grandma is not is a snitch. Grandmas... Okay. All right. So back in the day, so I grew up in Louisiana, right? And back in the day, we weren't friends, but I knew this kid, and he was like, this kid in my neighborhood was getting arrested, and it was a whole big scene because, like, basically, I don't know what he was getting arrested for, but the police thought that they needed 18 of them. Like, it was... I don't know what he did, but everybody showed up, if nothing else, just to watch. Like, that's... And that dude's grandma came outside screaming, like, he didn't do it. Typical grandma. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. And then she tried to fake a heart attack. I was like, damn, grandma a G right here. That's probably what G stands for, if you go back all the way. She was like, don't take my baby, don't take, oh no, my heart. And you could tell she was faking it too because she like really planned the fall. Like the fall, because she knew she couldn't just fall however she wanted to fall. She may never get up again. So she was in her little nightgown and everything, looking for a soft spot on the ground. Oh no, not my baby, my heart. I just can't stress it enough. Please do not do wire or check fraud. It's like, it's so easy to not do. We're all not doing it right now. And I don't want to, look, I'm not coming from some holier than thou place either. I understand crime. I understand why people do crime. Like, if you've ever been broke, you get crime. Crime makes so much sense if you're broke. I don't understand when rich people do crime because they already have things. Do you know what I mean? If you do crime as a rich person, you're really doing it for the love of the game. If you are a multi-millionaire and you embezzle hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're doing it for chips. Like, this isn't... You just felt like being bad or something, trying to spice up your life. A poor person doing a crime makes so much sense. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. That's a thing. I'd like to have it. Simple math, you know? I've been hungry. You hungry? Man, I wish I had something to eat. But on this planet, in this country, we trade money for things to eat. And I don't have any of that, so I guess I just won't eat. And then you don't eat for long enough that you're like, damn, the food is right there. You know what? Today's the day. I'm gonna do a crime. And then you grab an apple or something, and then, you know, grocer sees you, and you try to run, but you can't because you don't have any energy. So you get caught, and it's all very sad because you get charged with theft, but you took it because you were hungry. Like, crime, when you're broke, makes sense, you know? We don't like it, but it's true. It just does. And it's weird because it's like, Chase isn't... Chase... This is what bothers me about the whole thing. It was dumb of these people to do it. But to do it to Chase is like weirdly full circle. Chase got bailed out in 2008 for about $12 billion. And they needed those $12 billion because they were playing with money that wasn't theirs. And they were... They made the video, it just didn't go viral. You know what I mean? So it just, I don't know, there's a deep irony in that like, you know, one of the major powerhouses, probably the biggest bank in the country that contributed to near financial collapse, is gonna go ahead and get theirs back from some of the people that they made poor. It's pretty harrowing, you know? But every single one, I don't care if you were a kid, if you were grown, there was a line, by the way. There was a line at the Chase ATM, so a lot of people were doing this at once. There was such a long line. Okay, I didn't know about the scam until late. I am late when it comes to everybody doing this. It's already over and Chase has like settled it and they're probably gonna go get their money back. But I was in line one of the days and I don't look like I wouldn't do it. I'm standing in line like, come on now. Line's never been this long before. That guy's throwing money, that's irresponsible. No, it's just, you know, you should know. I don't care your age. I don't care if it was on the internet or if it was a rumor you heard in real life. You should know that you cannot just take money that's not yours as a poor person. If you want to steal millions of dollars, you need to already have millions of dollars. There is a Chase money glitch. It just only benefits Chase. You know, the only people who can just print money with absolutely no consequence are the Federal Reserve. Everyone else has to deal with it. That's a tough one. It really is. Because I think about how some people are like actually in real like felony trouble. I don't know what I would do if I committed a felony, but I was just joking. This is a terrible predicament to be in. Some of these people are like 20, you know? They're like, guys, I don't know, I just wrote too many zeros, my bad. The only one of these scams that I really thought was like funny and was really rooting for the people on was that DoorDash one. I don't know if you saw this, but basically there was this DoorDash scam that was essentially the same thing. It was kind of tied to a Cash App scam. There are a lot of scams if you pay attention. It is crazy how much we're doing them now, how much we're doing like wire and check fraud. Like we, as Americans, we have become the Nigerian princes of the world. Because I know Nigerians. I know Nigerians from Nigeria. And they are like, what is happening over there? Do you need us to send you something? Like, y'all are down bad as a people and as a country. This is hard to watch. But basically, there was like a DoorDash scam / Cash App scam where basically Cash App was letting you It was basically letting you have a balance without pulling it from your bank. So then people were saying that they had enormous amounts of money, right? But then weren't able to pull it out. Like they weren't able to transfer this imaginary money to their bank. Thank God they weren't able to do wire fraud, but like they weren't able to send it. But what they could do is, as long as a full transaction was online and they linked it somewhere else, they could pay for things online with this fake money, right? And so what a lot of people would do was use their Cash App fake money to get stuff on DoorDash, which feels like the most fulfilling of the scams, because like you can make me pay back money, but you can't take the burritos out of me. You know what I mean? Like when the police come, I'm gonna be full, all right? And when they put me in the car, that car's suspension will be in trouble. I had the opportunity not too long ago to really be a hero. Like, you know, you don't know when your hero moments are gonna come. They just show up, and then you act like the person you are in that moment. And I had the opportunity to be a hero, and I didn't take it. I looked that moment in the face. I was like, you must be looking at somebody else. Huh? I don't know what to tell you. This is bad. Basically, I was at a friend's house, and while I was there, some other people basically broke out into a fight, and like a real fight. We're not arguing. No one's talking anymore. Fists going and everything. And there was a moment where I could see a gap. I could see a pocket where I could have broke it up. And breaking up a fight is a very precarious position to put yourself in, because most fights that you want to break up, especially if it's two people, if it's three, it's gone too far. You know, you're not going to be able to double dutch that one. You know what I mean? But two, you wait for a moment where they're like both tired, or they're trying to wrestle, or, you know, they're backing up to like get started to fight. You know, that little back up hop step. This is usually, okay, when someone doesn't really know how to fight, they do too much prep for the fight, you know what I mean? Like okay, I know I'm digressing to digress, but basically one time in high school, there were these two kids that were about to fight, and I didn't even bother trying to break it up because one kid stretched, and I was like, nobody that's really about to beat you down goes, oh, okay, you about to get it. You just give me a second. I'll be over there in a minute. You just. And so, said all that to say that, you know, there was this moment where they were backing up, and one of them, you could tell he couldn't really fight because his hop, when he was backing up to prep, looked weird, right? Because he didn't hop like, you know, like if somebody can really box, or if they've got like some movement, some footwork, they have the little hop. This dude went, okay, then here it is then. This man wanted to fight so bad, but just had to step on 1,000 roaches first. Like, in what world is this getting you ready? You look like you've already been hitting your cerebellum when you move like that. But anyway, they get to fighting, right? And I could have jumped in, but I was like, you know what? No. Because when you jump in to stop this fight, you need to be bigger than both people, right? The way you jump in and stop a fight, usually it's hand first, like you get the hand in there so that's the warning. Hey, stop swinging. Somebody else here. You might not hit him, you might hit me. Hey, right? And then you put your body in between the two of them. And the idea is that your body will be big enough that they're like, I want to punch, but there's too much to get around. And that isn't the case with me, you know what I mean? Like, I can't. I want to jump in and stop the fight, you know, like a principal, just like, hey now. Okay, so, all right. I did see, okay, so years ago when I was in high school, I went with a friend to pick another friend up because all three of us went to different high schools, right? And so he could drive first, so he picked me up after school, and then we went to pick up our other friend. Now, our other friend was waiting outside of the school, but a fight had also, a few feet away, had also broken out at the school, and the principal did this exact thing, like, hey now, and you could tell he doesn't want to get in there because the hey nows were too frequent. Like, this man, hey now. But he stopped the fight because he was just being too big for both those boys to get at each other, right? And I don't have that. Like, if I jump in, I will catch a stray. Like, I'm gonna walk right into a fence. Brothers, please. And so then the fight breaks out, and the guy that I thought couldn't fight, it turns out he can fight if he keeps the fight weird, right? Because in fighting, in hand-to-hand combat, in battle, right, you use what you have. You use your hands, fists, elbows, knees, shins, foot, everything that you can. If you wrestle them to the ground using your weight, using leverage, there's just lots of going on with your body when it comes to a fight. But what I've never seen, and I watch fighting, I watch combat sports, I like watching boxing, I like watching kickboxing. I've seen people who can kickbox in real life in like a street fight. I've seen people who can box in real life in a street fight. I've seen people use their knees, like Muay Thai moves, elbows, all that stuff. I've never seen somebody who just grabs. It is harrowing to watch. Because my man is over here trying to like fight, like he's fighting, right? And he's like punching and kneeing and kicking and everything like that. And the other dude, anytime he get close, he's just like, So now this dude punching while also being hella uncomfortable. Like, like you can see where he's like, hey, when does this cross over into a different type of assault? Do you know what I mean? Because because at one point the dude was trying to dodge a punch and then like grab, and I think he thought he was doing kung fu. Because, you know, you've seen the movies where they're like, ha, and then like just Black Panther and then you up, you know what I mean? This dude at one point went to dodge a punch, but clearly, we could all see it, clearly grabbed the inner thigh of the dude he was fighting. And you see that dude miss with his punch, but also be like, and so they're fighting, and then there's one point where, you know, the dude who really knows how to fight pushed the grabber away, because I think he just needed a break. Imagine you beating somebody's ass and they're still like, it's devastating. And so then I realized that I made the right decision, not because I didn't want to be grabbed, but also I knew I made the right decision because when they re-engaged, the dude who knew how to fight, okay. I shouldn't laugh, but all right. I knew I made the right decision when the dude that knew how to fight threw a microwave, right? And I think, okay, this is what I think happened in my mind, right? No one even saw him with a microwave. We didn't know where the microwave came from. You know what I mean? And I think we were distracted because when he pushed the grabber off, the grabber was ready. He was still like had energy, even though he had lumps all over him and everything. And he was just standing like. And I'm not even kidding. At one point, I guess when he thought the fight was about to kick back off, we were all looking at his hand and he went, here. Like. And that must have been when old boy grabbed the microwave, because we were all like, it's weird. And there's a thing about when you're in hand-to-hand combat and you're losing, that's usually when someone reaches for a weapon, but the weapons normally make sense. I'm losing a fight. I'm in a home. I'm gonna grab something that's gonna give me a mechanical advantage, like a hammer or a knife. You know what I mean? Like, I love, one of my favorite things in the world, I've only seen it like twice ever, but one of my favorite things of all time is when somebody in a fight and they hit somebody with a book. Because it's literally poetic. When you hit someone with a book, it makes it feel like the book is in on the fight, right? Like if we're fighting and then I hit you with some James Baldwin, I'm giving you culture, right? I'm educating you. Somebody being dumb, you hit them with an encyclopedia. Read. You know? Somebody talking crazy, you hit them with a dictionary. You're literally giving them better words to use. But the thing about a microwave is that when it's coming at you in the air, it's all corners. When a microwave is hurtling towards your head, it's nothing but angles, all right? You would think it was a diamond, the way that it moves through the air. I guess I'd never seen one fly before, so I was like, wow, right? And so then, the best you can hope for, if you can't catch the microwave, if it's coming at you too fast and spinning too hard for you to dodge or stop it, is to just get hit with a flat surface, right? The best case scenario is that you get hit with a microwave that's coming at you door first, like a window. That feels like it has the most give to it. But that didn't happen at all. This dude threw the microwave at the grabber, and that dude got hit in the head with the popcorn button. And I've never seen a person shut off faster, right? Like, this dude caught a microwave in the head, and you just saw him go, like, I've never seen someone go limp that fast, right? We were all standing there like, I think he dead. Like, the only reason we knew he wasn't dead is that finally, after like 30 seconds, which 30 seconds when you think you're looking at a dead body is forever. That's... When you think that somehow you might go to jail too, you've been looking at that body all day. But he was clearly like down for 30 seconds, and then we just saw him be like, oh. He's fine.
welcome to the Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing all right, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay, man. I did a school show at a school last night, and it was really good. Students were great.
Like elementary, or
everybody was just really dope. Well, okay.
You just said school. Everyone knows you meant college. I'm just goofing. Gosh,
I'm with you. But just in case, I don't need those problems of someone hitting me up and being like, "Our elementary school would love to have a clown come and do his thing. You know, bring some joy to the children."
I wonder what an elementary would pay for some lunchtime stand up.
I think you have to ask what they pay the teachers and then go lower from there.
Shit, I'm going higher from there.
Oh yeah,
I'm giving them a break.
Okay.
I'm gonna do for a teacher's day pay plus tips. That's right. I'm hoping. I want them to encourage the children to leave tips.
Okay, so this is my thing. I try to have a real day of it, right? Because the actual show wasn't going to be until 8.
Okay.
And the train from New York to DC is about, 3 hours or something?
Okay.
And so in my head, I was like, you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to make like a full day out of it. And if Sally and I weren't going to Australia, I would have tried to get like, Sally to come, but I know she had errands to run and to pack and stuff like that.
Right.
But basically, I got up early, went to the station, made the train by like 5 minutes, which is my favorite. I love that so much. I love like when you know you're gonna make it, but you've also really cut it close to where there's no waiting. It's like, it's the best. It's so good.
I don't know. That to me, I understand what you're saying. To me, though, that last 5 minutes leaves too much opportunity for something to go wrong. And if one thing goes wrong, then you are late. You have missed this train now. It's kind of how I feel. I mean, the Amtrak is less so. I've had less trouble with it. Like if you show up, if you cut it close, but like,
you know what it is?
I don't know.
This is my thing. So I left, it takes 30 minutes to get there, and then probably another 10 to get to my track from where I got off at the train. So 40 minutes total. And I left with about an hour to get there. So I had this 20-minute pad, right? And at one point the train was stopped, and at another point, I was like, should I get some snacks? Should I not? And so it wasn't a 5 minutes of desperation. It was a 5 minutes of like, by the time I sat down in my seat, there were still 5 minutes before the train took off. So when I say to spare, I don't mean like I almost missed it. I probably made it by 10 minutes. But you
had 5 minutes to indulge.
I had 5 minutes to watch people panic. I had 5 minutes to really feel like I was better than everyone.
I'm here so early.
Yeah. And
didn't I plan ahead like a good boy?
And the train ride over, because I mentioned this when we were doing our virtual live show for the patrons and stuff.
That we just did, by the way. And we do every month.
Come on through.
Here's a little ad, huh? There you
go. And sure enough, my man, this is, okay. So I ended up sitting facing the other direction that we were traveling, right? Because you know how the way that the seats are set up, you can sit facing forward or facing back. And some people don't like to face back because it makes them dizzy and stuff,
I am one of those people.
Yeah. And
depending on the mood. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. But I'm facing backwards, and I don't mind. It's fine. I've been very blessed where I don't get dizzy easily. It takes a lot for me to get dizzy, even though I'm an easy faint. So like I'm either awake or I'm not.
Oh, see, and then I'm an easy dizzy, hard faint.
Okay, wow. If you put us together, we make one awake person.
Or one horribly vulnerable person.
Yeah. Someone who is both spinning and asleep.
Yeah. Just either one very healthy person or one very sick person.
Yeah.
A lot of head injuries from all the falling.
And So I'm the way where I'm sitting, I have a clear shot at the bathroom, which in my mind is going to be a problem. Like there was some chance to move because whenever you're leaving New York, I can't remember what the first stop is, but I think the first stop is still New York. So I guess if you ever wanted to steal like a whole ride, you could probably get away with it because they don't start checking tickets until you're actually headed to
So you're in Jersey, right?
Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm on the train for an easy like 9 minutes with one stop before they actually start checking me and stuff. And once they check you, I don't know what the process is if you can move and just bring your ticket with you that they put at your seat, but I don't like to, just in case, conductor passes by and it's like, I don't remember you. Where's that ticket from? And then I gotta be like, it's from you, bro. Please remember me. I know there's a whole train and you do this like your entire day for 10 hours, but please remember me, right?
That is a weird, the only times I'd ever ridden Amtrak, it's only been a handful of times, so it's like a thing I don't do often enough. I always get nervous that like I'm going to fuck up something with just handing them the thing or scanning. Now you can just scan on the phone. And I did that last time, like, oh, but surely still something will be wrong. Because they usually put like the little ticket above you, and I'm like, well, what if that falls? And they're going to be like, you got to get off. I always have a little panic for that, and it's the oldest form of transportation I use.
It's also
because I don't ride horses.
Even if something really bad happened and they didn't remember you, and your ticket fell and it went under a seat, and they still want to take your money, so they would still let you buy another ticket that would probably only be more affordable now that you're closer.
And it might just be like whatever you have in your pockets. And we'll let you stay on this train.
Listen, if you want to stay on this train, you're going to have to pay us $19 because we are almost at your destination.
Yeah. By the way, sorry if you're hearing a lot of clacking and walking around. My dog's getting restless. I won't dig into this next. We're talking about trains. And I love talking about trains. But she just had surgery. So I brought all my gear upstairs to hang out with her. But she walks around the tall hardwood floor up here, so you can probably hear clickety clack of beagles walking around on my mic here. So anyway, so that's why I'm looking around. I'm darting around like someone's sneaking up on me, but I'm just trying to keep track of my healing canine. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Trains.
Yeah. Heal up, Maddie. All right. Prayers up. Okay.
Bro, she's got some gnarly scars. She got cut up.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
I mean, they had to, I guess, sorry, we are talking about now, but she had a big old tumor on her side. She had to get cut out. Well, and they even said, too, like, it had grown enough that some muscle had gotten intertwined with it, which was okay. They could easily do that. But they said when it heals, there's a good chance she'll just have a divot. That she'll have a little golf fairway divot in her side where she got a little speed bump.
I'm excited for you to take Maddie to a dog park and just her talking to the other dogs and being like, so were you in Nam or what happened? Like,
bro, she's been through some shit. Because she had 3 different bladder surgeries, I mean, years ago. She's had this lump we got removed. She had it removed 4 years ago. And they said it might grow back, and it did. And then she had a second one in her neck that we took out too, and we also took off a cyst on her back that had gotten bigger. That one wasn't cancerous, but they're like, hey, if we got her under, so she's just got a big old, like, her whole back is shaved in like a weird like jigsaw puzzle, basically, and then her neck shaved to it. I was telling you before we got on mic, like it's hard because then we can't really put a cone on her because then it will rub against the one on her neck, and also she could still scratch that with her foot. So I just been putting shirts on my dog, and she doesn't really like wearing shirts. So I do get a lot of stares. There's a lot of just staring at me. Yeah. Of like, what have you done?
Yeah.
What have you done to my life?
You know this isn't right.
Yeah. This isn't right. I don't like it. I'll tell you, did you see the picture? I'm going to send to you right now. Do you see the picture when I first got her home? I posted it on Instagram. You'll just appreciate the fucking look she's given me. I'm gonna text it to you right now. Because I've never seen a dog be like, why so much in a picture. Just look at this fucking demon stare that she gives me.
Oh you guys send that to the people. You gotta you gotta put that in the show notes.
It's on my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see it. But it is a I will destroy you stare.
Wow, I've never heard a dog curse before, but she is right now in my head when I look at that picture.
Well, it's because we picked her up for having her gone all day and then immediately put a shirt on her. And she's like, first you do this, and now I gotta wear clothes, which you know I fucking don't like.
Yeah. This whole day has been unnatural.
I used to be a wolf.
Yeah.
I just assume they think that anytime we do anything dumb to them, they just in their heads go, I used to hunt.
I like the idea that there's like Hotep dogs that are like, see, what happened was the white man, because we used to be wolves, right? And then the white man came along and tried to get us to push him, to pull him, to push him in his work. So then his work became our work. All right. You hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? All right. So I'm not doing when he says sit, I stand. When he says stay, I go. All right. I'm not really about that. Okay. And best believe anybody step to me, he can get bit. All right. You're going to have to put me down. But if you put me down, best believe you won't put all of us down. They'll never put all of us down.
We didn't land in the dog park. Dog park landed on us.
Let me tell you something right now, because that's the thing with dogs as well, where anytime people act like they've been the deciding factor in the full change in the dog's life, I'm like, all right, yeah, but as an animal, it was going to get along on its own, like in some form. You know what I mean? Like for every breed outside of the breeds that we've completely made up, you know, there's a couple ones with the snouts that can't breathe, and we did that. That was us. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think everything else though,
we ruined them.
like anytime you see a dog that's like deeply, especially as a puppy, I'm talking about like puppies, deeply out of shape, that was you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
they love to burn calories as a resting state.
Yeah.
Their favorite thing to do is burn calories.
I'm not delusional because there's some, I know people who are just like, my dog has this trait because they're, because of their previous owner, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I know I had her since she was a puppy. It's a little different, but I know every one of my dog's bad behaviors, absolutely my fault. I know 100% is my fault by nature of just like, she's only been around. I've been the only authority figure she's ever known. So clearly anything shitty she does, I didn't handle or didn't care enough to handle. The long time where it was just me and her living in Chicago. She basically had an apartment to herself like half the time.
Yeah, free reign.
Yeah. Sorry, she was basically a human adult.
Yeah,
and I didn't do anything to curb any bad behavior. So I'm like, she sucks and it's my fault. But she's old now, so.
I love when a dog does a horrific thing, and then they run up to you like you're gonna be proud. Like, I did it for you. You know what I mean? Like when a dog just runs up to you with like a full pigeon in its mouth, and it's like, aren't you proud that I brought this diseased animal back to you?
Well, that's why I love. She's so bad at catching stuff that the one time she did catch something, she just looked surprised.
Yeah.
I think I told it on the show before, but she caught a possum and she was just like, and you could see in her eyes the thought was, I don't know what to do now.
So
it's never gotten this far.
Last night, Chance saw a raccoon, which is literally just built like him. Like he's a fat Shiba, and it's just him.
It's gonna be about the size of him,
yeah, and just different colors, but still, it was trying to get into a bag. As Hallie told me, he saw it and just was amped and was like really talking all of that good shit from across the fence.
Was that his first raccoon he's seen that you know? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Because it's funny when you see a dog see their first something. Mm-hmm. Because either they'll freak out, but like when Maddie sees something for the first, like when she like saw a possum for the first time, she just looked at it and wasn't upset. It just looked like her world collapsed a little bit because she learned of a new thing.
Yeah, he
And the
does
possum
seem
just
to.
looked at her.
Yeah, exactly. He seems to be upset that they are alive. He would love to unalive them, like at every turn.
Right. Yeah. Maddie doesn't have that as much. She doesn't. She likes to chase, but she doesn't. If something stops running, she will just like. She had a rabbit one time that I think I've told this before too, but she snuck up on it and was like 6 inches away. The rabbit just didn't run, and then she just looked at me and she's like, "I don't," and then just walked away. Because it didn't run, she's like, "No, this is wrong. So this seems like a trap now."
Yeah, yeah. This rabbit knows something that I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Anyway.
if I come for this rabbit, I feel like something bad is gonna happen.
Yeah. You're on the other side of him. Is he holding something? Does he have a weapon?
Yeah, is he holding something behind his back?
Yeah. He seems to be too calm about this. Anyway, sorry. Trains. We haven't had dog talk in a while, you know?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's
And
fine.
this has consumed my fucking weekend, this surgery.
I'm with you.
I've
totally
barely
understand.
slept.
Yeah.
I've barely slept. Because she won't lay still. Mm-hmm. It's not that I haven't slept out of worry. It's because she wakes up and then sprints while drugged up still on anesthesia. That's Friday night after she had her surgery was just like waking up and just trying to sprint to nowhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
It does sound like the opposite of what anesthesia should do.
It never used to affect her that way, but the last couple times she's had stuff, because she had a tooth removed last year, and she did the same thing. It's like she's sleeping, and then she just wakes up and acts like there's something urgent she has to go do.
Yeah.
Which there isn't, because she's a dog.
You don't know that though. Maybe there's unfinished bones and unfinished business outside the yard, you know?
Maybe. Because it does. It seems like she just starts walking places like, I'm supposed to do something, and then she stops, and she's like, no, it's right. I have no responsibilities. I'll go lay back down. I forgot I'm a dog.
Yeah. But basically,
Anyway, college gig, trains, choo-choos and colleges.
I was seated diagonal from the bathroom, which I knew was probably going to be a problem. I wasn't sure how, but I knew eventually something would happen. And I was
You're at least gonna smell something.
yeah, and I was across also from the dining cart. And so a part of me was like, man, maybe I should just spend some time in the dining cart. But my seat, I don't know if this was a malfunction or if I was just lucky or maybe Amtrak stepped up their game. But my seat went back just a little bit more than normal.
Ooh.
And as soon as it went back and no one ever came to sit next to me, I was like, then I'm in it. Like, why would I move? Life is good, you know? So
Shit,
anyway.
I might stay on for an extra stop past DC. I might just keep going.
Maybe I'll end up in Virginia. I don't care.
When the seat's this good, why get off?
And eventually it happened. There was a guy who you could tell, I heard his clip clopping from down the row, right? No, this guy.
You said that right after Maddie walked by, so I thought you were saying you heard her
No.
clip clopping.
This dude, I don't know what type of nice shoes he had on, but they were the fanciest flip-flops I've ever heard that were dress shoes. Because it was like...
I've got a tap
pop.
recital.
Yeah. It was legitimately like, how are these shoes making this much noise? And then he's running down the aisle, and you can tell he's trying to hold it together, but he gets to the bathroom and someone's in there, and the impatience, because where the seats are, there is the handicap seating, right?
Right.
And so that means that since there's no one there in a wheelchair or anything, there's just room. And so he's pacing. This man is pacing back and forth on the train. And then eventually the person gets out and he goes in. And I forgot all about him.
Punches him in the mouth.
Yeah.
You took too long.
I truly forget all about this dude.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what I was watching. I think I was watching.
Emily in Paris?
Nah, never. Dang, I can't remember. But I was just watching a show on Netflix. The show gets
Okay.
done, and then maybe
Emily in Paris is on Netflix.
maybe 2 or 3 minutes after the show gets done, this guy walks out and just hands in pockets stands near the bathroom, leaned back. Like he looked like the only thing he was missing was a cigarette to smoke. Like he just barely made it. Like his whole life flashed before his eyes or something. Because the level of relaxed that he was when he walked out.
Oh, it was relaxed. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was hands in pockets, like shameful.
No.
I saw like hands in pockets, head down, being like, how do I live like this?
It's hard to see someone more on top of the world than he was.
Oh, good for him.
It's
you know?
it's rare. It's rare
Good
that
for
you see
him.
someone so content that he leaned his back on the wall,
Wow, so unencumbered.
so uncovered, and then he just clip clopped back to wherever his seat was. And I was like, man,
Like he's a horse.
what ecstasy must this man have experienced? Because a part of me was like, maybe he used the bathroom, or maybe he just did drugs in there, because it was
Yeah,
it
maybe he
was
just
such
did
a
heroin.
change in him. It was truly such a change, and it also took so long that I'm like, all right,
Yeah, because you said you're watching a show.
yeah,
30-minute or 45-minute.
No,
How long
30
was the
minute,
episode?
yeah.
30 minutes. Okay, because I'd say it's depending if it was like an hour-long drama,
yeah,
then like he was getting after it.
yeah. Legit in the bathroom for what had to be 33 minutes, and that's a little too long. I mean, he had time to do both.
Poop and heroin. Is what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Neither one of them take that long.
I mean, if you want to enjoy them.
Nobody boo-boos a whole episode of Seinfeld with the commercials and then walks out happy.
I mean, yeah, definitely doesn't walk out because usually, if you do it that long, your legs are asleep.
Yeah. You
So it
crawl
takes you a
out.
second. You got to stand there at least being like, ooh, getting the tingles out.
When I was on the Amtrak, though, the food offered
Okay.
is not.
Well, that's the end of it. It's not food.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've never looked this is specifically in the dining car
In the dining car where you buy the food that they
Okay.
provide.
because I've never looked in there. I've never seen. Mm-hmm. Okay, what do they got? What's on the fake menu?
There's a microwave pizza that I'm pretty sure is like a one that you get in a grocery store. So I guess some people would consider that real, but I feel like because you don't control the microwave.
Existing and real are different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it's not a real pizza and you're not going to
No.
feel good, right?
No, I've had those. They're not good no matter what.
Yeah.
They at best they are there.
And the person, to their credit, the person that works the Amtrak train that is firing them up for you and everything in the microwave is following the instructions. But the instructions, this is what people don't understand about microwavable foods that are kind of faux foods, is that you have to come up with your own
Faux.
instructions. You know? You have
Yeah.
to tinker
You do.
diligently, and you have to understand your microwave, you have to understand your dinner that you're having through that TV dinner, and you have to know, okay, am I a low wattage, am I a medium? If I'm a medium, is it 3 minutes or is it 3.5? Okay. Some people break it down to such a science that they'll put that microwave on 325 and have whatever their TV dinner is coming out perfect. Because
Yeah.
they've eaten it so much that now they realize, like, okay, 330, a little too hot, a little dry, you know?
Yeah. Which is a great combination of victory and sadness. Mm-hmm. Because you're like, I nailed this. But you're just like, I'm too good at microwaving these.
Because in all the time that you got good at microwaving these, possibly, potentially, I'm not saying you have to, but you could
Have gotten married.
have figured out, oh, okay, went two very different directions.
You could have gotten a life and been happy.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess maybe that's the takeaway. Then the other thing is a hamburger that is actually way more
What was-
depressing.
What was your other path though that you could have gone down? If you gotten so good at it, in that time you could have.
Oh, found a fruit that you really like
Oh yeah, okay.
like a fruit that you like roll with, like in the amount of times it takes you to really get down to an exact second and wattage of what this TV dinner should be to come out tasting good. You could have tried mango, you could have tried an apple, you could have tried so many things to be like, hey, this is the fruit that I roll with, you know?
Yeah. Because once you have that perfect timing down, it means that it has to be the last time you ever have it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're just like, wow, this is a science now. Mm-hmm. I can never buy these again.
Yeah.
I perfected this art form. It is time to move on to another medium, which is microwave burgers. So, was this like a straight up like 7-Eleven burger?
Kinda, yeah. It did not look. It looked like dry, and it looked like it's finally gotten to the point where the general public is as exhausted with processed stuff as doctors. Because it used to be if you went on and on about processed foods, you sounded like a health nut, and now you're just right. Like now they finally come out with a couple burgers where it's like, no,
yeah,
that's not even a good shape. You shouldn't have no burger. I'll go out on a limb right now and say no matter processed, unprocessed, grass-fed, grass-finished, I don't care if you put butter on any of that, no burger should be triangle.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that one was triangle. I'm just saying that the roundness to corners ratio was off.
Let's just say no corners generally. If you're not going to Wendy's, no corners.
If you're not going to Wendy's, no corners. All right, I don't want to eat a baseball diamond. Okay,
I think it's a fair rule.
Because
Wendy's are the only ones that can do corners.
Exactly. Now you're messing up because Wendy's even had to take a step back and be like, okay, what is the bread to meat ratio?
Yes.
How many bites are people going to be missing meat for?
Yeah, and I feel people typing already that White Castle has corners too, and White Castle is trash. Okay, I don't mean to start this war right now.
Ooh.
I don't mean. I know. I feel them coming. I know.
Fighting words.
I know. Just they're not good. I don't like them. I don't like White Castle. I might have had it too late in life though. I never had White Castle until I was like in my mid-20s, and I was like, okay, that's probably the problem.
I remember
I was in my mid-20s and not on drugs, so
yeah, I remember you were the one when I moved to Chicago who explained White Castle to me.
I did?
Because I had never had it. It's not anywhere else I've lived.
Well, see, but it was never where I lived either. I never had it until we were already known each other for a few years where I had it.
For a few years? Because you were the one that told me it was a thing.
New York. I mean, I knew it existed. I knew what people liked about it. I'd never had it.
I didn't know what it was. Someone had said White Castle, and I was like, okay, how about this? I thought, it's gonna sound so dumb. I really did think White Castle was medieval times. Because it felt like it said it all right there. Like it was like white people in a castle.
No, you're not wrong. Medieval times is White Castle.
Yeah, I was like, all right, that's like what white people will do sometimes. They'll go to the medieval thing, and it's. Yeah. I didn't know they put the name on the head like that, and then
but a bunch of honky improvisers love to go to to medieval times for a birthday. They go all out for White Castle.
And you were the one that that told me that it was Little Burgers, and I played it off like I didn't ever think that.
It was Little Burgers. You guys want to go down to Little Burger?
I'm just saying, like, because the way. Okay.
No, I we never had them either. I never had them. I think from where I live right now, I think they have one in like Cedar Rapids. You know, and this is basically near where I grew up, and we just didn't have them. I knew of them, but I'd never had them ever.
Now, are you talking about White Castle or medieval times?
White Castle. I've never been to Medieval Times.
Oh, okay. We should go to Medieval Times.
That'd be fun. We absolutely should. That'd be a good time. I've been to things like Medieval Times, like that are offshoots kind of thing.
Like a Renaissance fair?
Well, not just that. I mean, literally, like the type of restaurant. We went to one in Florida that was Medieval Times, basically, but it was pirates. And, dude, it kicked ass.
Really?
Because in the middle, instead of it being like the big, like dirt, courtyard thing, instead it was a big-ass pool with a pirate ship in it. And then on the pirate ship were a bunch of trampolines and stuff, and they were all like acrobats instead of like knights, but they were all dressed like pirates. They would swing in from different corners and then do like flipping stunts and stuff, and it would be a lot like Medieval Times, where instead of jousting, though, it would be this big like sword fight with them doing acrobatics, and they would get eliminated one by one, and like you were assigned, like your section was cheering for one of the pirates. I don't remember what it was called. But it was like super fun to watch.
That
it was like Medieval
dope.
Times. It was fucking rad. I don't remember what it was called, but it was really cool.
Oh, man.
But yes, I've also been to Renaissance fairs. I've been to a couple of Renaissance fairs. So.
I want to see like an earnest, like a real, like two people have a problem with each other fight at a Renaissance fair. Not a Renaissance fair where it's like, oh, we're gonna go at it as part of the performance. I mean, like
People can sign up.
Like Jeffrey and Sean Ben had problems. And so they start throwing hands, like full on, like full on tights on everything, but then the hands getting thrown are real.
Yeah, just ye old Fight Club.
Hey, that would be amazing, because then it's also cumbersome, because now you're not fighting in your best fighting clothes.
Nope, Well, then they're like, get on this horse with this lance, and you're like, I've never done this. They're like, well, you got beef though, so figure it out.
Dude, I don't even know where this is, but I've watched a few videos that they've made. There's a fight club in the woods. All right.
Elaborate, please.
There's a fight club in the woods where people go, and like it's like amateur boxing and amateur MMA and stuff, and they built an octagon out there and everything. And
oh god, so it's like proper, not just.
No, it's real. It's real. It's like,
oh god,
yeah, and
oh no,
and you would be surprised. It's actually handled really well, and the refs that they get are really good. Like the refs will call it off. Almost like the same rules as any like sanctioned event, but I'm pretty sure it's in the woods because this is all legal, right?
So I'm just gonna see what happens when I type in Fight Club in the woods for Google.
I'm pretty sure this is a purposely undisclosed location.
Okay, so how'd you hear about it?
You hear things when you talk to people about fights, and everybody talks about fights all the time. You hear about fights.
Oh, so this is like some truly underground shit then.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's really well done. It's actually better done than you would imagine, because it's.
Have you seen like footage of it or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, there was a guy that showed up one time.
Nope. You can't just anyway.
What?
Is this something I can look up, or can you send me?
I'll see if I can find one for you.
Okay. You gotta do it right now. But
yeah.
I wanna know what Fight Club in the Woods is all about.
Yeah. I think you're gonna be disappointed because it's very professionally done. Like the only thing.
Yeah, but still, just doing a sanctioned fight also in the woods is kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
It's got a real air of like Tekken to it,
Not only does it feel like Tekken, some of it looks like Tekken, because as long as you're in the same, I'm pretty sure, as long as y'all want to fight, they'll let y'all fight. And there's this one dude.
Oh, like old UFC rules.
Yeah. And
where you could be hundreds of pounds different.
I don't know how, I've seen some weight differences. I don't know how egregious they let them get, but like it does seem, there are some that are very one-sided, where you have to respect the heart of the other individual. Yeah, I mean, like maybe when you weigh them in for heart, they weigh in the same, but as far as bodies know.
Yeah, our weight class isn't weight; it's by passion.
And there was one dude who especially, sorry if this is the one that I find for you to send for you, because I've only ever watched 2, but he showed up. He showed up like he got the call, and he lives in the woods. And so he just walked out of his house because he had the most comfortable garb on. Like, I'm pretty sure he had on pajama pants and then slippers. And so this man is doing his footwork in slippers, countering punches in slippers.
Real quick, I want you to imagine you're in the woods and then you encounter a man in slippers.
And you encounter a man in a sweater, pajama pants, and slippers swinging. Like,
because in that case, if you run into a man in a sweater, pajama pants, and slippers, the best case scenario is he was just teleported from somewhere else. It's unlikely, but that is your best case scenario. Worst case scenario is he is about to kill you.
Yeah, I don't know if you greet him with champ. You know what I mean? It would be a surprise if he was a champion of something.
Yeah. Whatever he's the champion in, the police have not found him yet.
Yeah. And then some of them, I think, are barefoot. Some of them decide to have on some type of shoe, like a boxing shoe or something. But they'll also do them based on, I think, the discipline. So it is kind of like old UFC, where now, obviously, because all of MMA having some knowledge about every single discipline is for the best, you see a lot less of people showing up with one discipline as their primary, and there are still people that do that in the woods.
Yeah.
Like they show up and they're like, I'm just going to do Taekwondo.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because early UFC, like MMA wasn't like super a thing yet.
No, it didn't even exist. Yeah.
Yeah. Early UFC wasn't, MMA wasn't a thing. It was literally fighting. You were the ultimate fighter.
Yeah. You would just show up and know how to box
type of
only.
fight. Yeah. Whatever type of fight you wanted to do, you would fight someone. And then there you have it.
It was really beautiful. And now everyone thinks that they do everything.
Yeah. It was, I mean, beautiful's a word for it. I don't know.
Well, just like,
some of those early tapes I've ever seen are like, oh no.
Yeah, they hadn't figured out the rules yet.
If they stop this fight a second later, this becomes a snuff film.
Yeah. But what I mean by beautiful is that it is cool to watch two actual types go at it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's even remember
pure competition.
Yeah. Like the competition of like, because that's what they were trying to figure out in the beginning. Is boxing better than Muay Thai? Is Kung Fu real? Like, is like all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then Jiu-Jitsu,
which makes it a lot like again like a Tekken or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you have the character who's doing drunken boxing or whatever. And like you would have that in the original like Ultimate Fighting was just like a mishmash of ridiculous characters.
Yes.
Who are brought in from different realms with different styles to beat the shit out of each other for the entertainment of people who had VCRs.
Like, did you play Tekken growing up?
No, not really. I played more Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. Didn't play a lot of Tekken.
Oh man. Okay. So,
that's why you tend to kick my ass anytime we're in an arcade and we play Tekken, because you're way more familiar than I am.
Yeah, but I'm not even the amount of money and the amount of clout that these new Tekken guys have is insane. It's actually troubling.
But we've watched some of the professional like Tekken. Are like, even if it's just a video game, you are kind of like, Jesus.
Yeah, and the crowds, they'll sell out an arena.
Yeah.
Imagine if my thumbs were that good. I just want good thumbs.
Just give me them good thumbs.
Like if you had real good thumbs, you could really make a living now. We're in a different era. If you come through with good thumbs, that's money.
Yeah, it used to be a phrase to say I'm all thumbs, and that used to be a bad thing. Now it's a good thing if you're all thumbs.
Yeah.
You ever heard that one?
No, I never
You ever
heard that.
It's an old one.
Oh, okay.
Saying you're all thumbs at something means you're like not delicate with it or whatever. So it's an old timey phrase. But now,
Yeah, but now if
Shit,
I'm
if you're
all
all
thumbs at
thumbs?
Fortnite, if I'm all thumbs at Tekken, if I'm all thumbs at Street Fighter,
if I'm all thumbs, I'm a millionaire YouTuber. If I'm all thumbs,
I got a golden thumb.
can we start a streaming channel called All Thumbs?
I mean, it probably would be pretty great.
I think that'd be great.
That'd be very fun. And we could do even like the old games because you forget how, man, people who made games back in the day, so like Namco, Sega, all these places that made games back in the day didn't give a damn about kids.
No,
All those games were so hard. Like,
so fucking hard.
like
so
past,
hard.
Past level 3, they were like unplayable.
They just wanted your quarters.
Yeah.
They didn't want you to have a good time. They wanted your quarters. It was a shakedown. It was kind of being held upside down by your ankles.
Yeah.
Is what some of those games were. Which I meant to text you actually. Speaking of old games, the Nintendo Switch, which we play every now and then, we're together on the road. They just added GoldenEye. So I got GoldenEye now for us to.
It looks like people about to get popped.
Yeah. It's about to our next video game video we make for Patreon is about to be fucking petty.
I don't even remember how to play.
All slappers. Oh, I'm always bad because it's always, especially the aiming is so horrible in that
Yeah.
game. I'm never used to it because I didn't own it when I was a kid, but all my friends had it, so I played it a lot and we get used to it. But it's not one I have a muscle memory for.
Oh,
I am not all thumbs with GoldenEye
yeah.
in the good way. I'm all thumbs in the bad way.
Yeah. It is funny how, do you remember the Nintendo 64 controller and how that was built?
Yeah,
We
it felt like a prank.
exactly. It's like looking back on it, there's so much nostalgia for the cartridges and for the controllers and everything. But I remember when I got it for Christmas. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I was only a year late, but like I finally got one. I remember that and just being like blown away. And I got like 2 games with it, and I was just like I was losing my mind, right?
Yeah.
And still though, when I was holding it, I was like, this doesn't seem right. This is
Well, there's like 2 different ways to hold it because you have the 3 like prongs. Like some games you kind of need to be in the middle on the thing. The other one you need to be sometimes on 2. I don't know. I always had to relearn how to use that controller every time because I never owned one. Mm-hmm. But you owned an N64?
I owned a Nintendo 64, and then
Okay.
I didn't own another gaming system for years because it was just I did not have the money. And finally,
Yeah.
I won a PS2.
Oh, we talked about this
And
on
then
something.
that
It was a
was-
video I think we did.
Yeah, and then that was the last thing that I owned.
What'd you win it in? What'd you win a PS2 doing?
It was a walk run event or something. And
Okay.
I got the most signatures for like me doing 3 miles. Or I'm trying to remember what it was. But it was something like that where I needed signatures. I needed people to pledge, $5, $10, whatever. And
Yeah.
and I just put in work because in my head I was like, this is the only way that I'm gonna get a PS2 ever.
Wow.
In my mind, I wasn't even gonna grow up and buy my own. I was like, if I ever want one, it has
now
to be
or
now.
never.
It has to be this. Yeah.
That's an awesome way to get it, though.
Yeah, and I remember it was like it was honestly like one of my when you talk about top 100, because I won't put it in the top 10 because that sounds too sad, but like one of my top 100 favorite memories. Oh no, that was my
Was
camera.
that your camera turning off?
Yeah. But one of my top 100 just favorite memories, period,
Yeah.
was
In the video, we'll just put the wood guy from Tekken
Moko Jin.
on your half of the video. It'll be that guy.
And I brought it home, and I remember it played DVDs, and up until then, my mom and I couldn't watch DVDs because we didn't have a DVD player.
Oh, okay.
And they were too expensive to buy, and so there was just all these movies that were passing us by. And I remember when my mom was so excited for me and how like happy I was and everything, that I don't remember if I borrowed it or if she bought it. We must have borrowed it because I don't remember watching it. Maybe she bought it. Anyway, we watched Spider-Man on my PS2.
Ooh.
And my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Thank you for winning this, Josh." And I was like so proud. I was like, "Oh man, this is the coolest," you know? Because it was like, even my mom was like, "This is pretty dope." You know what I mean?
That's a good story. I like that.
Yeah. That was like, I think that was the thing that really was a turning point where I was like, anything to like take care of my mom or anything that my mom needed, I was like ever like that, and then the groceries.
So you kept buying her PS2s, and she's like, "Honey, this is not.
Yeah, this isn't helping.
This is not. You took the wrong thing from this. I don't need all these PlayStation 2s."
Yeah, but no, I was like, bringing in the groceries for my mom one time, because one time I just surprised her because I was still fairly young. I was like kind of little, and we actually didn't get that much. And so she was getting out of the car and opening the door, you know, and when she turned around, I was right behind her with all 4 bags that I could not carry. Like I was just like, "Ah!" Like I was going to give myself a hernia. And she was like, like it was so heartwarming for her that I was like, "Oh, then I need to do this all the time." And I think that PS2 thing really was like a turning point where I was like, "Oh yeah, I like taking care of my mom, and I like doing my best to like, I don't know how you describe it, but like anything I can do to spoil my mom, I'm always very excited to do, because it gives me that same feeling as I had with that PS2, because it wasn't that bad, but just not. This is gonna sound melodramatic, but like it was starting to affect me a little bit, of like not even having a DVD player, because now I don't even know what anyone's talking about. Like when it comes to
you're missing
movies,
a lot of pop culture at that point,
dude. It's like you don't want to ever not have money to the point where you're not from now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're so broke you're from before. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
So that was one of my big things.
Yeah.
Where I was like,
That's so great too, because especially in that era of like the PlayStation 2, like that was the, you know, there was like a decade there where it was constantly talking about, you know, having video game systems like that were ruining children, you know, and there was, you know, putting time limits on it, making sure your kids weren't going to be psychos or whatever, you know what I mean? So the fact that you had the complete opposite experience where your mom was like, "This PlayStation 2 fucking rules."
Yeah.
That's it's really great that you had the opposite experience to that in every way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That your mom was like, "I'm so glad that you got this."
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, Tony Hawk Pro Skate, I was playing all of it. I was up on all of it by then.
PS2 was a good system. PS2 was a really good system.
And it's
that was
easy.
Some of my favorite games are still on that system.
Yeah, it's easy to get nostalgic over it, but I think genuinely what also makes it great is, someone pointed this out to me last month. Actually, it was while we were in Denver. A friend pointed out to me that one of the reasons we hold those games in such high regard is because it was our last time owning games.
Like physical copies,
physical copies, because the thing that could happen, I'm not saying it will, I'm not saying it's like some conspiracy theorist thing, but I'm just saying, like, what could actually happen now is that if something happened to like a database or a server or, you know, whatever, with a gaming system, you might not be able to play a game that you own.
Yeah, because especially now, like, you know, I'm even behind a little bit because I have a PS4 and not a PS5, and it's like I think I own 3 hard copies, but I own like a shitload of games on it. Like, yeah, if the computer decides I don't get those anymore, that's the decision.
And updates. There were no updates. It was like they made a good game and then they put it out.
I think it's also that was the perfect generation of where games started getting more, I guess, more specialized. I'm not sure what the right word is, but like they were getting, that's when we started having like the dual stick stuff. Like you started doing, using one to move, one to look around kind of stuff was in that generation. And I realized if you miss that generation, people who didn't play games during that generation and you give them a game now, they freak out. They have no idea how to handle games now, because I've done that where I didn't realize, I'm like, oh, if you didn't grow up playing games and you try to sit down at a game now as like someone our age, your brain almost can't comprehend it.
Yeah.
And so much of it stems from like that era of console. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's like, if you didn't get used to it, because that's like Jess, even she gets, if anything first person or any game that has a camera that moves, she gets sick if she watches it.
Yeah.
Because she didn't play those games then. It's like you have to, because I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't you get motion sick? I've just done it for years.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Well, dude, are you ready to open up the mailbag?
Give me 1 sec. We're about to do that. Hi, Jess. I heard her coming. Do you need to walk through quick? Because sometimes she's...
I've got a fun story you guys could talk about.
Well, we're about to wrap this episode up, but if you... What happened?
Have you ever heard of a milk and molasses enema?
No.
Woogie boo.
Woogie boo is what he said. A milk and molasses enema?
Yeah.
That sounds like... when they clearly run out of names for like the specialized IPAs. And they're like, oh, this is demon anus fist, and you know what I mean? They just start putting words together. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, it works.
Ugh.
That's what I was cleaning up before I came home.
That's what I was cleaning up before I came home, she just said. Okay, thanks for stopping by, hon.
You're welcome. I love you.
Love you. Your job's gross. I'm glad you do it, but everything's bad about it. Should we keep that in the episode?
Let's let's do it. Let's oh god, open up the mailbag. I gotta go try to eat nachos now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, this has been a strange episode. All right, here we go. Let me see. Opening up the mailbag. This is our email, joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. You can email us questions or stories or topic ideas, and we love to read them there. Here's one. This is from Kaylin, and the title is called Storytime Request. Hey, Toontown and Squeaks. I'm a longtime listener, first-time emailer to the show. I've probably listened to every episode about 3 times. I will never get used to that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
People have been telling us that for 3 years. I'll never get used to it. Y'all are my favorite thing about Thursdays. Well, as per usual, I was re-listening to an old episode 48, Little Joshy is Kidnappable, while changing my cat's litter, and Josh mentioned an old improv troupe he was kicked out of. I don't believe Josh ever told this story, and I was hoping he would indulge the listeners. On a side note, Josh singing Vindicated at the end of episode 125, our last episode, Don't Meth with Crack, is my new favorite thing to say to myself alone and unprompted. Never fails to make me smile, LOL. Anyway, hope y'all are well. Truly cannot express how much this show means to me. See y'all next Thursday. Thank you, Kaylin. That was a very lovely email.
That was dope.
This improv troupe, I don't know if we've really talked about it.
Yeah, I will talk about it, but it is longer than, in order to really tell it, it is longer than.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's put that on the docket. Maybe next episode. Should we try to dig into
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we could probably do, because we both did improv. There's probably improv stories we could fill an episode with, maybe. Mm-hmm. Do something like that. Okay, so I know that's always sometimes annoying that we get asked a thing and we're like, cool, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
But okay, so we'll get to that. But thank you so much for that email. And then this one here, this is from Gabe. And great podcast with a great host. The title says, hey guys, love the podcast, but I just wanted to ask, why isn't it called the Logan Nielsen Show? I mean, Josh is funny, I guess, but Logan is obviously superior. I mean, compared to Logan, Josh is barely even there, but they spelled it like bear in that pun that you love.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding, parentheses, maybe. I love both of you, and I love the show. 1 million out of 20 jangles. Sorry about your brain, King. Gabe, and then I love they give a pronunciation key, and it just says, pronounce like the word gay, then you add a B sound.
Wow.
Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate that, because I know this episode 2 is going to get some hate because I talked a lot, and some people hate that. So some of our listeners are not a fan of me being a part of the show, but so I appreciate that.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Gabe. And thank all of you. Thank you for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. We had a great time recording. I hope you had a great time listening. All that I ask of y'all in this episode is, if you enjoy the show, just tell one friend. Just tell a friend about it, so we can hopefully make more people laugh in the new year. Come out every Thursday, wherever you get your podcast. You already know that if you're listening. And if you're looking for Logan,
you can follow me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want bonus stuff that we do, because we make some videos, we do some side podcasts, we do a bunch of goofy stuff over at our Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. And like we mentioned earlier in the episode, we do monthly live shows. So come join us. We tell stories we've never told in the show before. We interact with people and have a generally chaotic time. We literally just finished recording January's before we started recording this. And it was one of the more off-the-rail ones we've had, I would say.
yeah,
It was pretty chaotic, but it's a whole different vibe over on that. And we're touring this year, so keep an eye on all the links are down. We put so many links down there; they all lead to important information.
yeah.
How's that?
Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I hope you have a great weekend.
And I hope you have a great trip to Australia, Josh.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. One assumes.
I'd like to assume.
There's so many spiders there.
Don't. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really supports the channel. Hit the bell notification, because apparently it's the only way YouTube will tell you that something happened. And just tell a friend. That's the biggest thing you could do. Just tell one person in your life that you like, maybe you don't like, that this video happened to you.
We release the podcast every Thursday on all the podcast apps, so you should find us there and subscribe on those and comment and leave reviews and whatever on all of them. And also, if you want bonus stuff, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. We have bonus podcasts and videos and stuff there, and we'd love to see you.
Put your hands together. Start clapping right now for the incomparable Josh
So, I've had quite a week still trying to distill all of my thoughts and feelings around the presidential debate. Okay. I live in New York, and in New York there are a lot of parks, and in some of those parks
you'll see, it's like an iconic thing about New York, that there'll be somebody playing chess in the park, right? And sometimes they're just two old men playing chess or checkers. Sometimes it's somebody that's like, hey, I'll play anybody, I'm practicing for a tournament. And a lot of times it's somebody who's playing chess, but they're playing for like money. Like, you put 5 down, I bet you can't beat me, and I'll put 5 down, and we'll see. And then, you know, speed chess as well. They got the clock next to them, bow, 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 right? And I've played before, and I'm not good at chess. And it's crazy how fast you can lose. Sometimes I'll be playing chess in the park, and he'll be like, checkmate, but it sounds like there's no way. Then I'll grab, I have a chess book, and I'll look at the board and look at the book. Like, damn, okay. That wasn't that many moves. I don't know what else I was supposed to do. You know? And I don't know, I feel like watching the election and watching the debate felt a lot like that. It felt like bad chess moves. We've watched a lot of debates that Trump has been in, and we've gone 2 for 2 this year with having remarkably historic debates, both of which were like, whew. You know what I mean? Like, you get done and you're like, whew. Felt like I was up there. And there was a moment in the first debate that was echoed in this debate. There was a moment back when Trump was debating Biden, and I've talked about it before, where there's a second there where Trump looked at Biden, and for a split second, he wasn't trying to be president. He wasn't even trying to debate. He was literally like, hey, he good? Like, no, y'all, stop. Is he good, though? It was a different tactic than we've ever seen before from Kamala debating Trump, because she debated him the way that I think a lot of us might debate him. You know? I'm not gonna speak for anybody in here, anybody listening to me. I don't know if you're like a political analyst. I don't know how involved you are with politics, but she debated him the way that I think we debate him sometimes in our heads, which is to be like, what did you just... Because most politicians are not, hear me out. Most politicians don't behave like people. And when I say that, I want you to understand, I mean, maybe they care about people, maybe they care about getting something good done, maybe they care about forwarding their agenda, but they don't react to things, and they don't behave like people, like just regular people. It's why they feel fake. It's because they can't just be like, oh, shit. You see, man? Do you see what I mean? And it's why people from 2015 on have gravitated towards Trump, because he feels like they would react. Like he will say, oh, shit. But then you look at someone like Kamala, and she's a very polished person, very accomplished person. But in that debate, she was having moments that for the first time ever felt like moments that we might have up there. Does that make sense? Like when Trump would debate other Republicans leading up to the nomination, or when Trump would debate Hillary or Biden, there was a sense of like, wait, are you not going to say anything about the thing that he just said just now? Why are you staring forward, acting like what you heard wasn't wrong? Why are you like looking to the moderators to fact check? There's nothing more exhausting than when someone who could be a good player is looking at the ref to be like, help. You know what I mean? You say he's lying right now. Like he just lied now, so say it now. Don't later be like, and then they didn't even help. Do you see what I mean? We've watched it happen. We've watched, he was in those debates. Republicans did not know what to do with this man. He was over there telling Ted Cruz to his face, your wife is ugly. And because Ted Cruz doesn't move like a person, doesn't react like a person, he didn't slap him in his face in that moment. No, Trump has shown that the American people were ready and willing for someone unorthodox. You know how much he would have surged in the polls if he had walked over from his podium and was like, what? And then slapped Trump in his face. I know at least his wife would have liked it. I don't even remember what he said about Marco Rubio. I just remember Marco Rubio looking littler and littler every day. Marco Rubio started showing up. I was like, is he 4'8"? Nobody knew what to do. Journalists didn't know what to do. Journalists were like, but you can't say that about the press. But he did it. What are you gonna do? And so now you watch this debate with Kamala, and we've all heard it and probably said it ourselves that she baited him a lot, but he bit every time. And this is my thing with that, is that decorum aside, don't you want someone representing you that could maybe let something slide? It's got to be tough to be in the public eye. It's got to be tough to be and feel slighted all the time by lots of people that you meet that you don't know and they hate you. But also, you're here to do a job. You're here to do a job on the highest level. So a lot of people won't like you. No matter who wins as president, there will be people who are very upset. Do you really want someone who could be so easily irked? Kamala said, nobody. Kamala said that people leave his rallies early out of boredom and maybe confusion. I don't remember the other thing she said, but she said people were leaving early. And this is what's so interesting about that. We can talk about how much it's warranted or how much of it he egged on or whatever, but there has not been in a very long time a political figure that is as hated as Trump by a lot of people. So a lot of people have said every type of thing about him. A lot of people have drawn him. Do you know how much you gotta hate somebody to draw them? A lot of people, drawings take time. It's one thing to curse somebody out real quick. It's a totally different thing to No, wait, I'm getting his ass. I'm gonna take break, but when I get back, he about to get it, all right? So all manner of things have been said to and about him, about himself, about his family, about how he behaves, about how he actually feels, about Americans in America, all of it. But this thing hadn't been said. And it turns out that this was the thing to say. This was the thing. If you're talking about feelings, this was the thing. And that's it. Look, as someone raised by black women, don't. Black women know how to hurt feelings. Only a black woman would be like, no, go to his little rally and see him. That's how confident she was in what she was saying, that she told us to go. She was like, look, I'm gonna do something I wouldn't normally do. Go ahead and go. You'll leave early, don't worry. That was the thing. That was the thing. And you could see it happen. You could see it, oh. On his face, you could see it happen. This dude who has held the highest office has been called a traitor. He's been called a Russian asset. He's been called all manner of things. But this was the thing. And it's because deep down at his core, even his supporters will admit that deep down at the base of who he is, Trump is an entertainer. And all I'm saying is, as a fellow entertainer, if someone had said, Josh, people leave your shows early. Out of boredom and confusion, I'd be like, oh, okay, we fighting, say less. This was the thing. That was the thing that like broke through this weird armor. Because I've noticed that Trump specifically has a thing that has always kind of existed in politics, but has never existed to this degree, right? Where Trump has a filter created by his base, by the people who like him, love him, and everything, that he can say whatever he wants, but they will distill it for him for the rest of us. He'll say whatever, and then they will be like, what he meant was. But what he meant shouldn't have been what he said. Because he said this, and you're saying he meant something else, but he also had access to the words you just said. So are you sure he meant what you're saying and not what he said? I'd like to think that when you say something as the commander-in-chief, you mean what you said when you said it. You didn't say something being like, they'll figure it out. And because he has that filter, because that sort of buffer exists between him and like sound arguments and logic. I don't even mean that as like a diss. I literally mean he could say something and then it could spin out past something that he meant for real, right? Because as an example, that's like Trump's vaccine. I know we forget that, and I've talked about it before, but that's like, as far as presidents go, as far as you getting credit for the things you do while you're president, that's Trump's vaccine. But when he tried to say, guys, we did it, we have a vaccine, and his audience booed, he realized what it's like. Oh, I don't necessarily control what goes out, even though I said it. I said you should get vaccinated, and then they booed me. So clearly, it's not like a one-to-one. What I say is not, it won't be exactly what they do. So now I'm also trying to figure out how to like keep them on my side, but win them over, but lead them. I think in that moment you saw him get really worried and confused, and he immediately backtracked. He was like, or don't. And I said all of that to say that the screen, the buffer, the thing that he usually has, I'm not saying he lost it for good in this debate, but he did lose it a little bit. Because I grew up in Louisiana, and I know people who are like hardcore in the MAGA movement, like people who are like, no, Trump is the guy. He is going to fix everything, right? I've grown up with these people, and we know each other well. And this was the first time that they were like, that wasn't great. Because even in debates against Hillary, they were like, no, okay, he said the thing, and I know it's a good soundbite for you liberals, but like, this is what he meant. And the thing that they're saying he meant, which is what they heard, which is what they decided to hear, is a reasonable thing when they start saying it from their mouths. So now I'm like, oh, okay, if that's what you think, that's what he said, then I can see why you're still like really gung-ho while I'm more put off by what he said, you know? But this was the first time that there was almost like a shared language. There was like a shared reality around like, what's happening to him right now? And he started to spiral, and he said, hey, look, they asked him a question. I can't remember if it was about immigration or the economy, but they asked him a question that should have been a layup for him. And he was still like, can I address the rallies for a second? Which, as a fellow entertainer, I understand. If someone had said that to me, I would have also been like, hey, listen, let me explain, all right? It was a Friday late show. They were tired, okay? You can't put that on me. And he said, can I address the rallies real quick? Because people don't go to her rallies, all right? They don't go to her rallies at all. The people that go to her rallies, she got to bust them in, and then they don't even have fun while they're there. She doesn't have any snacks. Now I'm paraphrasing, but like... But he did. He hit back with like rallies. They asked him underhanded. Should have knocked it out of the park, and he got distracted by rallies and crowd size and things that make sense as a priority if you're an entertainer. But if you're about to be the leader of the free world, they shouldn't matter as much, you know? And you could see him kind of spiraling after that because he was a little frustrated by like this thing that broke through. Then that never happens. Trump is a very hard person to debate because people like him are very hard to debate because they're not trying to have a debate with you. They're trying to make you look dumb. And because Trump is like very good at making other people look dumb, he's very good at debating. You see what I mean? But this was the first time that he was like, what is she talking about? My crowd. And so, you know, he had a bit of a spiral. And before you know it, he was like, look, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs, they're eating cats, they're eating... And you could tell in that moment that Trump wanted to say another animal, but he couldn't think of one. Because he says pets, but pets is off rhythm. If you go back and watch, it's like they're eating the dogs, they're eating cats, they're eating... And you can see for a split second the wheels turn of he's like trying to think of, they're eating the bird. No, we all eat birds. They're eating the pets. You know? And then, Kamala does a thing, and it's a thing that we've done when we've been watching debates, when we've been watching rallies, when we've been watching them on the news. She does a thing that we've done before, that a lot of other politicians have not done on stage with Trump. She laughed at him. And I think there's context to that laugh, because I'm not trying to get too, too much of a deep dive into it, but there's context with that laugh, because she's not laughing at him, she's laughing at what he said. And that's really different. It's one thing to say Trump is a joke, and Trump is a joke, and you could make the argument that the reason Trump became president was because Obama made him a joke. Do you remember that? Obama made fun of this man, and he just sat there quiet, And then years later, he was like, peaceful transition of power, huh? There's a big difference between laughing at Trump and laughing at what he said. You can think that Trump is a joke all you want, but he laughed his way to the presidency. But then when you laugh at what he says, when you take the power out of what he's saying, that's a very different thing. She laughed at what he said for a second. And then there was a second, it was very slight, but there was a second where she was still smiling, but she wasn't laughing. And then there was a second where she wasn't smiling and she wasn't laughing, and it was reminiscent of yo. Yo. No, wait, yo. And that's my thing, is I'm like, I look at that, I'm like, wow, that's different, It was very, very different. And the thing I've noticed in both these debates is that they're not even about who did well. They're just about who did the least poorly. That's what we get stuck on. It wasn't even, last debate wasn't even about Trump performing well, it was about Biden crashing out. And then this debate wasn't as much about Kamala winning as much as Trump. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cat. They're eating flamingos. They're eating the pets. And it was the first time in all the times that he's debated that Trump looked 78. Because he's 78. And he's got a lot of energy, so we let a lot of those years slide. We don't feel like he's 78. You know what I mean? I've known grandpas like Trump. I've known grandpas that were like, oh, he's got so much energy and he's so spry. And he's eating a lot of fast food. But he's 78. You know what I mean? But I guess this is one of my main things about it, is that it was the first time I saw him look out of his element on a really important moment. And I don't want people to think that this is that's it. That's all that needed. Not at all. It's harrowing how little it actually moved the needle. Almost everyone feels the way they felt before, even after we saw what we saw. And we agree that it didn't go well for one person. But we're still nah, I'm still gonna go the way I was gonna go. That's interesting, that after all of this, they're tied. Wow. They're tied. In lots of places, they're tied. It's not even like it's working out to be a tie because all this place and all this. No, in a lot of places, they watch that and they were like, I don't know. That's pretty wild, you know? The first time he really looked 78, because it was the first time he said something that, like, a grandpa would say right before you put him in a home. You know what I mean? Because be honest. If you let a lot of stuff slide as like a child or grandchild, and then grandpa been living by himself. But if one day out of nowhere, and you haven't seen where he saw this on the internet, he just walks up and he's like, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cat. You're like, okay, that's the last straw. I let you put the remote in the mailbox several times. But this is the one that I can't abide. This is, because it really has consequence. And I think that we live well enough here, even though I'm not even pretending things are just phenomenal. I'm just saying, day to day, by and large, we do get by. And I think that when you get by, especially comfortably, it can feel like a game. You know, it can feel like something that doesn't matter as much. You know, and it can feel like something that you're just playing at. And I think that, you know, it's important to remember that all of the things that these people say, these are very powerful people already, and one of them is going to become even more powerful. Everything that they say, everything they do has ripple effects. You know, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. It's like a meme. It's like a thing that's starting up. But it's also, which is very, very important, because we did a thing back in 2014, and we've done it ever since, that I don't know how to fix it. I'm just saying what happened from 2014 on. Anyone online that was even all the way from like crazy people down to people who were slightly conservative, right? From 2014 on, were just called Nazis outright. Right? Anything. And even a question, oh, you Nazi, right? To the point where Nazi started to not mean anything. And when it doesn't mean anything, it's hard to make it mean something when like an actual Nazi shows up, right? And I want to be clear here. The thing that Trump said, it is a lie started by a neo-Nazi. I don't care how many people on Twitter try to find something to make it make sense after the fact. It's a thing that a guy said at a community meeting where he was specifically targeting the Haitian community, and he said that we will not be safe the more Haitians we let into it. That's also the other part of the soundbite. Outside of the dogs and cats, this dude was specifically saying, and he gets kicked out of the community meeting. That part also didn't make it into the viral clip, right? And so when people are saying, well, I saw, and they have these fourth-hand accounts of like my brother's, sister's, uncle's girlfriend has a cat that's missing. And they try to put stuff together. There's even a video going around of some people cooking a cat that's from a year ago and not in Springfield. And then that became like evidence. There's another picture of a guy that was walking with two geese that they said he was on his way to go cook, when actually it was found out that this dude was pulling these geese away from a car accident where they got hit, and that he's probably not Haitian. But even so, death threats, bomb threats, all of this horrible, horrific stuff has been happening to the Haitian community to the point where apparently, maybe this isn't true, but apparently even the person in the Facebook group that first posted about, oh, my niece's cat is missing, and thinking, she has even come out and been like, I never meant for it to turn into this. That was just a Facebook post. Maybe she was having a goof with a friend. She didn't think it would come out of the mouth of the former president in a debate where he was flailing. So all these things have real consequences. It's not a game, and we are not chess pieces, you know? And even after the debate, you know, it almost like hijacked the whole narrative of Trump losing the debate and Kamala winning it. Now it became about this weird thing with hate. And it's also already, in that little bit of time since the debate, switched into Africans, because now they were just like, oh, wait, we got it wrong. It's not Haitians, it's Africans that are eating the dogs and cats. And so now it's already shifted just to try to find some truth out of a thing that was a lie, right? And you have J.D. Vance afterwards who, you know, pretty much probably fed that to Trump. And he's sitting there talking to Collins in an interview, talking about, okay, whether we find out that this is somewhat true or only a little bit true, was not willing to call it a lie, right? He says that, you know, we don't have evidence. This is me paraphrasing just for the sake of brevity, but basically we don't have evidence that there's no evidence. And the thing that is like so brain broken about that logic is that it creates a tidal wave of insanity until you can finally make something that you want to be true, right? Because it could ruin anybody's life. For instance, when you look at J.D. Vance, there is no evidence that there's no evidence that he didn't bang a couch. Do you see? Like, do you see how that's an unending thing? How it could ruin your life and never go away? How you can't even sit anymore? Because people see you next to a love seat and wonder? Do you see how insane that is? A lie that we know is a lie? But we'll work our way to figure out how we can make it true, you know? So just please, I mean, look, we watched the debate, and it was everything from a little bit boring at times to thrilling. We shouldn't even be debating like this anymore, to be honest with you. We've ruined the debate. The debate is too much like a chess game now, where it's like 90 seconds, make your move, make your move. That's not how you solve problems. When you go back before debates were televised, the people that showed up were willing to be there for hours. And the candidates had a long time to lay out their position. So there actually wasn't as much of a chance to fully dodge questions, because they were like, what are you going to do about immigration? And you have until you figure it out. But when it's 90 seconds, you can be like, what are you going to do about immigration? Well, I believe is time up yet? No. They used to take forever, because that's as long as it takes to figure out a problem. And it's as long as it takes to figure out what someone's real piece on something is, you know? If you could figure out big problems in 90 seconds, we probably wouldn't have any, you know? So just watching this thing of like, it feels crazy. It makes me feel crazy, because I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. They're not gonna make us feel like they have a plan in 90 seconds, you know? And there's too much of an opportunity to get derailed, you know? There was one point where it felt like maybe the only time in the debate where Kamala seemed a little angry. There was only one point, and I don't even remember exactly what led up to it, but she basically was talking about how Trump, which I forgot this happened, because when you live in like a 24-hour, 36-hour news cycle, everything is just sort of going, and there's no time to latch on to anything that matters, and there's no time for like real nuance of an issue. You're just going and going and going. But he did invite the Taliban to Camp David. And I remember when that happened being like, aren't they not supposed to be? The Taliban. Okay. And I remember that moment distinctly, because out of nowhere, Kamala turned to Trump and said, this. And you can tell she's trying to find a word that won't get bleeped. And I know it because she had to reset. She actually closed her eyes for a second. This... Once again, as someone who was raised by black women, anytime my mama looked at me and went, "You," in her mind, she killed me. You know, in her mind, my life flashed before her eyes. She would come back. This former president. All right, that one will work. You know, she pointed out something that we all saw. We just didn't seem to remember. Or maybe it wasn't that big of a deal at the time, you know. It's important to remember that we're not like just playing teams. It feels very much like teams, which I think is why so many people are like dug in, and no matter what happens, they're like, I'm not switching teams. But this is not a game, and we're not chess pieces. You know, it's very important. You register to vote. It's very important that you go vote and everything, because it's not going to be won by memes. You know, you can't like internet your way to fixing everything. You know, because I don't know. I don't know how everyone in this room feels or anyone watching feels. I just know that like I just want to feel comfortable with who is representing me out in the world and in front of the country. I want someone who is willing to maybe move a little bit like I would move. Maybe play chess the way I play chess. And I'm not even good at chess. You know, I just, you know, we all, everyone, no matter where you fall on party lines or anything, everybody wants somebody with a plan. And they asked them. They asked him, it's you want to repeal and replace Obamacare, and you say that you have a plan. We're asking right now, what is your plan and how would you enact it? And he didn't answer the first time. But when they asked again, they were like, after 9 years, what is your plan to repeal and replace Obamacare? Because I need to be clear here that like, if something is a good idea, a really good idea, I don't care what party it comes from. If something is a smart idea, because I am not playing teams, because I don't feel like this is a game. This feels very real. The things that get said in a presidential debate that are funny, that are a joke for a little while, lead to death threats and bomb threats in real life. All of this is real. So if somebody has a plan and it's a good plan, not only will I hear it out, I might even help them try to make it happen, because it helps a lot of people and it gets us somewhere, right? And so they asked him, after 9 years trying to repeal and replace Obamacare, what is your plan? And he was like, look, I have concepts of a plan. I'm starting to feel like if he had repealed and replaced Obamacare back when he was president, not only would we not have health care, but I'm pretty sure our doctors would shoot us.
And that's